So if you were to talk to many a wrestler fan over the last 4 years, if you can believe it, one of the things they would tell you that has been the best thing about WWE is none other than the Bloodline. I know some people are like, oh, it's so boring now. Well, I kind of think that WWE took that post-WrestleMania and they just went and made it way interesting again. Here's the deal though, I do think it's one of the best stories the company has told in ages, and actually, I think it's about to get even better. Why? Here's why. I'm sure you can figure this out if you have been watching SmackDown recently, because Roman Reigns is nowhere to be seen. He has gone AWOL, to the point it was Paul Heyman that pulled him out of the draft. This was the first big question mark that we got post the show of shows, because it was all like, wait a minute, Paul Heyman isn't talking to Roman Reigns, so what the flub has happened to Roman? Surely this is all leading to his big babyface turn as well, because crowds all over the world, including France, have now started to chant, we want Roman, and given that he has been absent, do you know what Solo Sikoa has done? He has taken over this group, and he has become an absolute psychopath. And the way that he did this is by recruiting Tama Tonga from New Japan. I love the fact that WWE have talked about this. They mentioned Evil of one of their recent shows, and you also do have to give a round of applause for the booking when it comes to Tama Tonga, because he has been presented as if he's a serial killer. I mean, his first storyline was, I don't like Kevin Owens, so I'm going to take my car and smash into his car. This is why Nick Aldis was so annoyed at Paul. He was like, we can't be doing this, hey man, it's actually against the law. Which it is, we did put it on the crime counter. The thing is, what a lot of people have absolutely loved about the Bloodline since day one is the surprise aspect. We just mentioned Solo Sikoa, and don't forget when he did join the faction, he turned up at Clash of the Castle, and he pulled the referee out the ring, and he screwed over Drew McIntyre. And let's face it, that's the reason why Drew McIntyre's gone crazy today. He was never able to get over this, and he kind of searched his feelings and realized that in 2024, he could be the hater of the year. And right now, he's so far ahead, ain't no one gonna beat him for number one. But just as we were all sitting there like massive nerds going, oh, Jacob Fatu is going to debut, because that's what the rumor was telling us, who turned up instead? It was Tangaloa, also of New Japan, also Tama Tonga's brother, and together they are the Gorillas of Destiny, a tag team that has been kicking ass in Japan for what, the last 10 years? I mean, that may be a little bit of exaggeration, but they've been together forever, to the point everyone started going crazy. I'm going to tell you why, obviously. Because it means probably at some point, given that Jimmy Uso got beaten up by these guys, that we're probably going to do the Gorillas of Destiny taking on the Usos, because don't forget, at Backlash, Jey Uso looked at Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman looked at Jey Uso, and this is not a coincidence. Someday down the line, probably in a few months, Jey will go and help his brother, because he still loves him. He keeps saying this in interviews, and when we get there, yeah, you are going to get this match. If you had told me that 12 months ago, I would have said that you were totally bonkers. But this is why 2024 sports entertainment is so damn good, because you just never know, especially when it comes to the Bloodline. Also though, going back to what we just talked about, those murmurs about Jacob Fatu do seem to be true, because too many people have reported it, which means maybe in the next week, maybe in the next month, maybe in the next year, I don't know what the plans are, he's going to turn up as well, and all of a sudden we have a brand new Bloodline led by Solo Sikoa and 3 other guys at the start of 2024 didn't even exist in the WWE universe. And I'm sorry, but that's just good booking. You could hate me, but I like it a lot. There's more to this as well, because since day one, it's always been about the long-term plan. So do you know what I think we're probably going to do at Survivor Series, which obviously is in November? It will be these 4 and probably somebody else that will come up with, taking on Roman Reigns, who will be back, who will then go to Jey Uso and be like, Jey, you've done so well, you've become a single star, please come back to your daddy. Jimmy Uso for obvious reasons. And do you know, shouldn't have done that, who the 4th person could be? And again, people are starting to speculate it could be Sami Zayn, because if these 3 people do turn babyface, which should be the way, they can go to Sam and say, listen Sam, we were wrong, we shouldn't have done that. And look, he has to take a long time to come round to this, because they did screw him at that Royal Rumble, but eventually you could do that, and you could even throw Kevin Owens in there as well. Again, just tell a really good narrative and people will buy into it. It goes to show that even if you have made mistakes, if you then come up with a reason why you did that, and you show you are remorseful, everything's going to be okay. But make it much more nuanced than that, I sounded like an idiot. Now the best part is if I was going to try and guess who would be the 5th Bloodline member, although of course you could do 4 and 4, I can't come up with anybody, because it's probably somebody that's not even in our brains right now, because again, nobody knew that Tangaloa was going to debut, and in terms of surprise appearances, this has to be the best one in the last few years. I didn't see one wrestling news site report it, because his contract had expired, New Japan didn't give him a send-off, and WWE did sign him the same time they did Tama Tonga, so we were all focused on that, and we missed this guy in the background, and give me more of that nonsense, I popped like an idiot, I made weird noises, and I kind of sounded like a goat. And I'll be honest with you, I'm still not over it. So now you'll be saying, okay, fine, Simon, we do that at Survivor Series, but what do we do post that pay-per-view premium live event? Well, I'll tell you. That will probably lead us into 2025, and do you know who apparently is coming back in the new year? It will be The Rock. He has already said that he wants to take on Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, and the last time I checked when it came to Dwayne Johnson, do you know what group he's in? If you're not saying the Bloodline, you haven't been paying attention. So by that point, I don't know, maybe he's going to take over the damn thing, maybe he kicks out Solo Sikoa, maybe he has something with Roman Reigns. So we are by far done with any of this, and if I were WWE, which I'm not by the way, in case you get confused, I would do The Rock versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41. I would somehow have Cody win because Roman does something done, and then when you get to WrestleMania the year after that, you can do The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and who the hell cares who wins or loses that one, because at the end of that, you can draw a line under the whole Bloodline group, and by that point, if you come into my house and ask me, I'll probably start telling you, yes, this is one of the best groups that WWE has ever had. And I'll mean it too. I mean, if you can drag it out for 6 years and keep it interesting, which I think has been the case, you have to get a round of applause. It also has been the vehicle to turn Roman Reigns' career around, because do not forget, he was the big dog before all of this, but when he came back as the tribal chief, everyone was going, this is the character he should have been from the beginning, and in the ultimate twist in irony, it will also be the reason he becomes the babyface the WWE always wanted him to, because of course, if you're a really good bad guy, that's the best time to become a really good guy. And how WWE didn't know this in 2015, 2016, and 17, and 18, and 19, I don't know. I mean, literally the same thing happened with The Rock. Sometimes they just go crazy. And it's a huge reason why I love this new era of WWE. They actually respond to things like this. And if we're going left and it is wrong, well, we'll just go right instead. If that's wrong, don't worry about it. Dust it off and start again. Essentially, in 2024, we are going to have a civil war of the Bloodline. And then we can do it again in 2024, like I say, when The Rock does come back into the picture. And don't pretend this won't work as a tale. Marvel and DC have been doing this since like the day I was born. And these are the comics that get everybody excited. You just have to be patient with it and let the story play out. And do you know whose catchphrase that is? Triple H's. He's always saying that, don't get mad at me, you gotta let the story play out. And at the moment, he has rebuilt my faith in the product. So I'm happy to sit back and stroke my crappy beard and go, you know what? I will, even if it does go on for a couple of years. I am damn invested and I'm here for the ride. I'm thinking out loud right now, it just popped into my brain. If you wanted to be totally crazy, when we did get to that Survivor Series 4 games, you could have Cody Rhodes on Roman Reigns' team. And I know you're now saying, Simon, that is way too stupid. But I think that's a challenge that WWE absolutely should take on. Because of course, right now, they are like bitter rivals. So if all of a sudden they had to be friends to take on a bigger enemy, well, once again, that's just a story as old as time itself. Go to any kind of entertainment medium and you probably tried to tell it. So essentially, I'm just super excited about this. And when Roman Reigns does return, he is going to be an even bigger star than he was before, because everybody is desperate to see him again, because Solo Sikoa is running wild and somebody has to slap him in the face. I mean, this probably isn't going to be till like SummerSlam, but when that music does hit, blah, 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 probably after Solo has won a title or he's got a major win under his belt, all of a sudden we can build to that. It just means throughout the entire year of 2024, WWE is probably going to be pretty damn good. I'd also be massively intrigued to see what we did on the other side of that, because Jey Uso has proven to us that he can be a single star. So do you keep him and Jimmy together, or do you kind of sometimes tag them together, or sometimes let them run by themselves? It's a question I don't have the answer to, but once again, at the risk of repeating myself, I do want to see it play out on my television because of everything I did just say. This is why it is so good. Again, it's been going on for such a long time, but as soon as Solo did attack Jimmy, I was like, yep, we've done good stuff with this gimmick, let's carry it on. Now, of course, you're going to have a different take from me, and you're probably going to have some different thoughts, and I probably said some stuff you're like, Simon, that's a hypocritical thing to say. Well, there's a comment box down there, but if you were in charge, what would you have done with the Bloodline up to this point? And given everything that did happen at WrestleMania 40, would you have come up with the plans that WWE has? I know that I wouldn't. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm all good with it. Also, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe, and click the video on the screen, which of course is more Bloodline nonsense, because they are one of the biggest things in WWE. And I shall leave you with this thought. For a long old time, probably 15 years, WWE hated factions. In the Attitude Era, they were the biggest thing. Then we just steered away from them. So I am so happy that the WWE is populated with them again, because it's like school. Nobody wants to be a loner when you're a young kid. You want to have a bunch of friends. So why the flub wouldn't it be the same in professional wrestling? Especially when it comes to the line of blood, they're all family. apart from The Rock and Roman Reigns, that's a different video for a different day. I do appreciate you as always, especially because I am now in another random hotel room as I continue to tour the East Coast with the last match. And as I like to say on every single video, thank you for everyone who has come out and said wonderful words to me. That's why I'm in a stupid vest today. It's super hot out there, and because I am a white British man, I burnt in around about 32 seconds. So that absolutely sucked, but I still appreciate you, and I'll talk to you on the next one.